I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. The University of Michigan helped people find their calm as they hosted a Qigong and Kung Fu Master for some specialized techniques of the East. Learn more in this report. Master Zhao Jilong shared his knowledge of Qigong and Kung Fu, a discipline he has practiced for most of his life.
My workshop today was to share some Qigong knowledge.
Qi is like the energy of our body. Gong just means like skill. So these are exercises for cultivating Qi. The two exercises that he taught today are different ways of going about taking the energy from the outer environment and putting it into our bodies.
The theory that Master Zhao went into today was very helpful, and I think he gave a good introduction as to the different types of Qi and how we can use them in our life.
These techniques bring the body to maximum relaxation.
Pressure point striking is kind of like a weird mystical thing. You align your body in such a way that the energy is able to flow through your fist or a certain point on your body into another person. It's about just being as relaxed as you can when you're doing. So doing anything where you're like actively relaxing is going to help you be less stressed out.
If you have an opportunity to experience any type of Kung Fu, and especially with a master, it can be really powerful.
It's official, October is here and the witching season is upon us. Halloween decor is everywhere you look, and one annual event dedicated to the holiday gives you a chance to have one-of-a-kind pieces in your personal collection. Take a look. For a decade, the Ghoultide Gathering has been a real fright for Halloween aficionados as artists from all over gather with work devoted to October 31st.
We actually call it a magical bazaar of Halloween art.
It's really a very unique opportunity to come here to Ghoultide Gathering. It's a one-day show, and you know, a lot of the people here love Halloween art and you know, really special artwork. They can't get it anywhere else.
This particular show celebrates the fun and the fantasy involved in Halloween, so it's a little bit more old school and very much more on the whimsical side.
This ghoulish get-together hosts some of the best craftsmen in the industry.
We're just looking for quality. We're looking for a really unique spin on somebody's vision of Halloween. We're looking for something that's just different than what you're going to see at a store.
You've got so many different medias here as far as pottery, the soft cloth, the paper mache, so it's just a variety of Halloween art.
We all have the classic ideas of what we grew up with, but then every once in a while somebody just takes that and they twist it and it looks like it's a whole new character you've never seen.
We welcome one and all freaks and crazy people. We love you. Come see us. Have a good time. Hang out, eat some candy, buy some art.
For 25 years, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Washtenaw County has been creating lasting connections, making positive impacts on all those involved. Joining me is Jennifer Spittler, Executive Director for Big Brothers Big Sisters Washtenaw County, here to fill us in on how to get involved in all the laughs that come along for the ride. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you very much for having me.
So can you explain what Big Brothers Big Sisters is for people that might not know?
Sure. Sometimes there's confusion because there's a Boys and Girls Club as well, so a lot of people do confuse the two programs. We're a one-to-one mentoring program. So youth development and helping enhance the lives of the kids that we work with are obviously a part of what we do, but our real impact is on that one-to-one relationship. Mm-hmm. So we match a volunteer from the community with a child in the community, and they spend time together each month exploring interests, giving the youth opportunities and experiences that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise, and just things that kind of open up their eyes, give them a new perspective, and let them see what the world has to offer them, and helping them kind of figure out how they want to grow and impact their community as adults.
So when they meet, it's at least once a month, so they could be meeting multiple times?
We request that the volunteers commit to at least 2 to 3 outings a month.
Okay.
For a couple of hours. It really depends on what they're interested in and what that outing is. Sometimes it's going to the library and then for ice cream. Sometimes it's getting a meal and going to a show. Helping with homework, doing school projects. Longer outings could be, you know, you're going to a baseball game or a football game, and the outing is actually lengthier than, you know, maybe the individual time together. But one of the things that I find most, that most of the bigs really notice and don't realize when they first kind of get into this is that the time in the car can be the most valuable. And anybody who's a parent knows that. You know, your kids tell you things and ask you questions when they aren't looking at you. And that's a great opportunity for our bigs and our kids to connect. They connect through the activity because sometimes it's awkward. They don't know each other.
Yeah.
They're just, you know,
it's like a first date almost.
Yeah, to some extent. And so it's that time in the car that builds the relationship, and the things that they do are just the opportunity to build the relationship many times.
So what kind of children do you typically see in this program, and how do they get involved?
Yeah, our programs are all, or our kids are all referred by a parent. We only take that parent referral because parent involvement in the program is really important. So it's not other social workers or schools that are referring them. They might let them know about the program, but the parent has to make the call.
Yep.
And we have, I mean, we really have a variety of kids in the program. We welcome any kid between the ages of 7 and 14 that lives in Washtenaw County. We serve the entire county. That said, the majority of our kids do come from single parent, female-headed households, and they might have some struggles economically. They maybe don't have the opportunities that some other kids have, or their parent doesn't have the opportunity. Either they don't know what's going on in the community, or they just don't have access to it through transportation or funds to give them some of that exposure. Our community is so rich in opportunity, it really is. I think more so than any place I've ever lived. We have so much here for kids to learn from and grow, but you know, people can't always get to them or know that they're going on, or you know, parents are also in school and working and doing some of those things to try to support their family's basic needs.
Yeah.
And sometimes we find a lot of families with multiple kids, it's to give them that one-on-one time. You know, it's hard when you have multiple kids to give them that attention, and especially if you're a single parent. So a lot of parents reach out to us for that, just to give them their due attention and give them those opportunities and experiences.
Out of curiosity, how are the mentor and the child matched? And is it like girls are with women, boys are with men?
So it's a process, obviously. One of the things that we're proud of as a Big Brothers Big Sisters is that everything we do is professionally made and supported, all of our matches. And so there's an interview process with families and kids. There's an interview process with volunteers, obviously background checks and all the things that we need to do to ensure that we're putting safe and appropriate folks in the lives of these kids. But we go through a process where we look at what we learn in those interviews to find commonalities or starting points, jump off points. Folks come from different backgrounds and different places. That doesn't inhibit a match from being successful, but it's always good if you have like a couple of things, whether it's the goals of the parent or the child for being involved and the motivation for the volunteer. We're kind of looking at those things and matching them up. We do cross-gender match younger little brothers with big sisters. So one of our the issues that we have is that we have many more women that inquire to be big sisters, and we have many more little boys on the wait list. So we have about 70% of little boys on the wait list, yet 70% of our inquiries are women. So we cross-gender match about 15% of our boys. But again, we're looking for the commonalities. We don't put a 14-year-old boy with an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just silly. And we are looking for people who make sense together. They have those common interests. We have girls that are interested in lots of things that boys are interested in.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We don't cross-gender the other way, though. We don't do big brothers with little sisters. We need big brothers for our little brothers.
Well, yeah, and that was another thing so you're always looking for men to volunteer.
Always looking
and minorities.
for men and minorities. The majority of our wait list, like I said, is 70% boys, and 70% of those are African American. Yet 70% of those women, they're white women. So there's this disparity, and so we're always looking for men. Some boys that wait longest are looking specifically for a man, or looking specifically for an African American man, or something else that's specific. We give everybody preferences. During those interviews, we talk to them. We don't want to put people in situations maybe that they're uncomfortable with, their values and backgrounds don't line up. So we ask those questions during the interview. But there's a lot of places, like I said, that people can like jump off that relationship. But you know, there's a lot of boys that and moms that want to see that male influence in their lives. So many times those younger boys that will match with big sisters, if that match lasts, you know, 2 or 3 years, by the time they're like 13, 14, if they're interested in another big, you know, we'd only match them with a big brother. But
so there's an age limit with the having a big sister.
Well, if you're a little boy and you stay matched with that, I mean, we have a boy right now that's 16 who's matched with his big sister still. She's probably 35 or 40, but they've been together for 5 years, 6 years. And so they've developed a relationship, and you know, we all know, I think, from having coaches and teachers that are of the opposite gender, that you can still have an impact. It's different, you know, and everybody's motivation for coming to us is different. So we just try to take all of that kind of into account.
What would you tell people, maybe a parent that wants to get their child involved, or even just to get volunteers out, just to get people in the door to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Well, I think that many times people think that it's, well, I'll say men, so we'll start there. I mean, I hate to generalize, but it's not as touchy-feely as maybe some men think it is when we talk about relationships, and this is about developing that friendship. And I think maybe that keeps some people from like, well, what do I have to offer? Or, you know, I don't know, what do I talk to him about, you know? The talking comes with the activity. And so again, it's going to the football games together, going to baseball games, you know, talking to them about school. The relationship stuff just happens. So it's not like you have to get involved so that you can, you're not going to save a child. You're not going to, you know, be there. It's not about being a hero. It's about being a presence. We say it's not about what you do. It's about showing up. So after, you know, you show up for several months regularly, kids develop trust. And once they develop trust, then they'll start talking to you and asking you questions and advice, and you know, starting to know that you're there for them and going to be on their side. And so, you know, it's really about just opening up your experience as a person to another person. You know, it's that simple. You know, everybody has something to offer. You might not think that, you know, you're not maybe overly outgoing, or, you know, maybe you think you're shy, or, you know, what do I do? I think of all, in this community specifically, I'd love to break into the tech community and these startups. I think about, it's very male dominated, right? And who doesn't, I mean, they love to play video games. I say they, because I'm not a video game person. My husband and son, they spend a lot of time playing video games. You know, if you like to play video games, we got a kid for you.
Oh yeah,
you know, if you want to throw the football, we got a kid for you. I mean, there's a lot of places, like I said, that you can jump off, and again, it's about time. It really is about time, and it's not a lot of time. If you're involving them in things that you like to do or things that you're interested, it's not like you have to add this big grand thing to your life. A couple hours, every couple weeks.
And it probably doesn't feel like it anyways, because you're having fun while you're
having fun. I had a big send me a picture the other day. She took her little to Zap Zone for the first time. She's 55 and he's 11. He might have just turned 12. She took him for his birthday. She's like, this is the most fun I've had in years. I can't believe I'm out doing this. Like she hadn't had kids, but she was a real active person, and, you know, but she'd never done that. And so I think many times also, we hear it time and time again, the bigs get just as much from it as the kids do. You know, there is a sense of purpose, but it's also like just seeing the world through a kid's eyes, and just seeing you're sharing your perspectives with them, but they're sharing their perspectives with you, so it opens you up to the world a little more, and I think it just makes people feel involved in the community, and you know, you have a ton of fun. You get to act like a kid sometimes. There's some moments where you have to be the adult in the situation, obviously, but you get to hang out with a kid and act like a kid.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Visit a2gov.org/watchctn to view this and other programs. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.